Hello, everybody. How goes it? We are back with another stream tonight on a Wednesday, which is crazy because I don't stream on Wednesdays. but today we're doing a podcast night and some updates, and I hope this podcast night really gets out there because feel like this is the time of need to talk about said topic of tonight's podcast due to all the games and the whole Unity situation going on. So, before we get into the podcast, we will get into a few updates. I'm going to undeafen from my call here in a moment. And we'll just speak minds before we actually start talking about the podcast. And then we're going to just slowly go from there. Alright, give me 1 second. I also do have a pizza coming in like 20 minutes. So if I say I have to disappear, it's because I'm going to go grab my pizza. Pizza El Dante needs his pizza. Alright. So I'm going to undeafen from my call and let's hear out from everybody. Alright, how goes it, guys?
Yes.
So before we actually start talking about the podcast tonight, one thing I do want to talk about is updates coming to said Twitch channel. First things first, Lumi has been working on a lot behind the scenes. That's a spider jockey, Roman. But Lumi has been working behind the scenes. Obviously me and Lumi talk a whole lot, but she's been working behind the scenes on a whole bunch of new stuff for the channel, art, the 2D model, a lot. We've also had a lot to go on with. We also are at this point we can call it con crunching because since we only have weekends to working on biking and stuff for cosplay. And Lumi can pretty much agree with me there. Not to mention with all the races I have coming up. This weekend I have state finals. Let's hope I can bring home some plates and not crash like an idiot.
You're gonna do great.
I hope.
I know
But,
so.
what's some other things I need to talk about? Oh yeah, congratulations to our winners for yesterday's little poll thing, suggestions. I don't know really what to call it. But Mr. Lurker Getsu Man, he gave out the models of what the weapon should be. Honey and Starry with names. Nightshade and Starlight. So, congratulations to them. Also, this is going to be a shout out to the Lumi. If you guys would like to get awesome merch and stuff that is Genshin themed, some Honkai themed, and stickers of me, I would hit up Lumi's Ko-fi link. I will eventually have a Nightbot and in my Twitch panels down below about getting stuff from the Lumi, the artist, which I need to give you the artist tag eventually. Unless you already have it.
I will say, I do not have it yet.
Alright, then I have to
Jello
give it to you.
is actually the first person to buy your stickers.
Really?
Yeah, Jello bought some today.
Hell yeah. We will be working on more on expanding that, and I honestly didn't think that merch would come this far, in all honesty. But hey, here we are. It happened. Also, I do have an idea for a 250 follower stream. We hit 250 followers. I will play Just Dance with a real camera. Lumi already trying not to, like, fucking freak the fuck out.
Oh, I already see that on the daily. What do you mean?
Yeah, I do practice a lot of dances from Just Dance on, like, my regular free time, if I have any. Totally wasn't doing it at work today.
I know you were doing it at work today. What do you mean, JK?
I mean, if you see my Discord and see what I'm listening to on Spotify, you definitely know what I'm listening to and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was playing Hell's Coming With Me by Dead Man Poison all day, just like practicing because Lumi said I should do a cover of Hell's Coming With Me.
Yes, because yes.
We'll get there when we get there. All things aside, a new model will be coming up, but when it will debut is to be announced. And it will not be the same program that I use here. This will not be the exact same copy model. It'll be more flourished and more detailed than what we're working with here. So that's a big update coming to be announced. Probably, I'm going to guess somewhere in between late November and early 2024.
Yeah, because I still have to finish coloring and rig it. And
Assets and all that stuff.
yeah.
But new
'cause
stuff
I
new
have
stuff on the
patties.
horizon. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. New stuff on the horizon. New stuff on the horizon, and that's always good. Change is always good. Updates is always good. Looking for new overlays or finding somebody to make a custom overlay of what we got, because as you guys can see, this is just, well, the podcast scene is just one I just scraped together. I just put this together. But the transitions and stuff, like the intermission transition, my PC games and stuff, I hope to, like, upgrade all that eventually when I have a person and or someone who knows how to do custom overlays. I already have Luvi on, like, a stove already. She's already in boiling water. Like, not in trouble boiling water, but she already has a lot that it's boiling.
I'm usually in trouble, so I'm glad you specified.
Yeah, well, duh. Like, when people say you're in boiling water, that means you're in trouble. But this time, I'm making the analogy that you're so busy, it is boiling.
No, I was making the joke because last time you said that I was actually jokingly in trouble.
There will be a bit more games coming to the channel, slowly but surely. I'm gonna try to play a lot of more of my old childhood kind of like games. Like the other day when I did Soul Calibur 2, that was a whole lot of fun, and I got my ass kicked by CPUs. I do want to do ATV2. I do want to do ATV2 Off-Road Fury, because that one was fun. I love ATV games. More Minecraft will be coming. It won't be the main stake. Faye will be coming back very soon. I actually got in contact with my buddy Sanguine. Obviously, most people here know Sanguine. I got in contact and got help about a capture card. So we are going to get a new capture card for that, and it'll help out with my Switch time community nights because it won't have delayed audio between the game and my actions. Because I noticed that was a big issue with VODs on my capture card with my Switch, is that the audio was delayed by 1 or 2 seconds, and it was very noticeable. All good things. Hey, what's up, Sticks?
Deeks.
It is Best Boy Sticks. The VIP, the Mr. Man, the Sticks. How you doing, bud?
The sticks, not just sticks. The sticks.
If you haven't followed Stickman, he's great. Follow the Stick. Pretty good. Good to hear. It is that night where we do a podcast, and we're giving out all the updates, art, everything, overlay. I should probably put on some nice music. Anybody got like a music suggestion, like lo-fi or something instrumental that doesn't get me DMCA'd?
Minecraft.
Yeah, alright, guy. I knew you were gonna say Minecraft, and I thought, ooh, maybe I should play Minecraft Sweden.
I mean, Minecraft's soundtrack
It's okay. It's either I play Mr. Fruits or I play Zelda. So didn't want to sound too basic. But if we got like an instrumental playlist or something that we could put on, because I don't want to sit in silence. Sweet, thank you. Oh, SoundCloud. It's not even Spotify.
I'll just send you a link to the song itself.
Oh, is it just a singular song?
No, because it's a playlist.
Okay.
All of my shit, and a lot of it is
Whatever music you usually suggest is always good.
You're gonna do great this weekend because you have a charm of you.
I'm going to die in turn 1.
Please do not.
This is the part where I give Sticks the free, Sticks, this one's free. Maybe at this track if it rains.
No.
If it does rain, we will be going to that track, Lumi. I hope you know that.
I am going to stop.
Because up there is an outdoor and an indoor, which I will be booking the hotel room tomorrow. Because yeah, we'll be staying at the same one with Micah and Megan.
I will probably crash like soon after I get to your house.
Oh, I'm
Friday.
off Friday, so.
I just want to let you know because we gotta get up early and I need sleep.
Gotcha. Also, yes, Dad. Oh, my food's here. Hold on, pizza's here, guys. Hold up, my stuffed crust pizza's here.
Not the stuffed crust. I'm jealous. I did not say that.
Been working on something very special. It's very hard. Now I need to go find the great applewood tree, the oak tree.
Stuffed crust pizza's in the house.
Why are apples growing off of oaks? Wait a minute.
All right, I got my stuffed crust pizza. It's sitting right here in my lap. Oh, is this the list?
it's just the album itself.
All right, that works.
Hold on.
I need to. How do I turn this down? Is there no like manual like turn down?
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Oh, there it is. That sound good for you guys?
Iron key.
Remind me to go get some meat food. I'll be back. Okay, good. Get some food. Get sustenance.
Mom's making me food right now because I'm interested.
I don't think that's too loud.
What are you? What are you? What? Oh, they're drows. I'm good. I'm sorry.
If you're wondering what the screaming's about, that is my buddy Roman playing Minecraft.
They're trying to kill me.
A little bit.
We're all playing Minecraft.
A little bit louder?
The
Okay.
temple people are trying to kill me. I'm sorry. I wasn't invading. I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
I turned it up to about halfway now.
His voice kept getting squeaky.
Those aren't villagers, Allard. They're trying to kill me. Oh, pillagers? Oh, shit.
Alright. So, I think we got most of the updates that I needed to talk about out of the way. Well, there goes Bronson.
Found a campsite. Can I cook my bread on this? Wait, I can. Holy shit. How do I grab my bread back?
It auto cooks.
Can we please sleep this time?
So,
If
let's see. Where do we want to? Okay, well, where do we want to start? I know where I want to start.
Do you know where to start?
Yeah, we're gonna start with the intro of tonight's podcast. Updates or not updates, but we just did that. Fuck! I already botched it.
Good shit, bro.
All right, tonight's podcast is why game critics and reviewers shouldn't sway you from playing games that you want to play. This has been a topic that's been on my mind, and especially with the whole Unity scandal. I really want to dig deep into this because this is something as well that with new games releasing and people being more critical, everything about reviews as of late, it's just going to be something I would like to talk about. It's something that's going to be very big for a whole gaming community in a sense. So the ad break is going to start in about 30 seconds. We'll officially start after that, but I just want to go ahead and tell you the premise of tonight's podcast. It's going to be talking about the whole shebang about the whole why critics and reviewers should not sway you from playing anything. And I'm not saying that they can't exist, but it shouldn't sway your opinion or what your action is going to do to play said game.
Basically,
I have an iron pickaxe.
basically, reviewers and journalists, like game journalists, shouldn't change your opinion on how you view a game,
Exactly.
and if you should be buying a game.
I can't tell if the ads are still up or not.
I was gonna say I don't see any ads, but then I'm like,
Hello, Nightfire. Well, you're subbed, so it does work. Not, are there ads up?
For me, there isn't.
I'm gonna be muted half the time, but I'll comment when I don't have customers.
Alright. Also, welcome Bloody Wolf. Right now. Okay, so they're at. Right now, okay, sweet.
found another village.
Oh, now there is.
Ads are so finicky.
Shit, where am I at?
I found copper ore.
Copper is whack.
You plan on? You
I
plan on?
found coal in this village and iron ingots. Yes. He found diamonds.
Imagine stealing from villagers.
I'm stealing everything they have. It's mine.
Me too. Me too.
What do y'all
steal
want?
Minecraft.
so much shit.
Dude, Outlook is crazy.
It's Java, child.
Cool.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. I don't know why I am.
Dude, nothing in this free bottle.
Not
You're just
so.
special, Henry.
Ugh.
With me, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, you're special too, sweetie.
Yeah.
Alright, 6 seconds. Roman, you plan on contributing?
3,
Huh?
2, 1.
Alright, welcome back from the ad break, ladies and gentlemen. So, we are going to start now with the whole podcast. As of recently, especially going through a whole lot of the games in today's gaming community, there's been a whole lot of review bombing and a whole lot of negative outlook on games as of recently. Why? Because critics and reviewers tell you, no, you shouldn't play these games because they're bad. And what that does is causes a sway of opinion and mind of people buying and just reviewing a game negatively without giving it a shot. And that's something that's huge I want to talk about, because I was in this case too about the Devil May Cry reboot, DMC Devil May Cry. People hated it. And I didn't let that sway my opinion to play said game. I really still wanted to play it. And that's what I did. I still play DMC Devil May Cry, and I'm a fond believer of, I really like it. It's one of my favorite Devil May Cry games. Yeah, that you could crucify me on a cross. But I like it. It was something I wasn't dissuaded to play. I really wanted to play it.
BRB.
I think the biggest one in recent history is Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Because, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and just say that the game was perfect on launch. No one's going to say that to me. But I will say that it got overhated by like journalists and people on social media in general. Just like to the extent where people just didn't want to touch it with a mile-long pole.
And those were like the dark ages of Cyberpunk.
The only reason people got back into it, I truly believe it's because of edgerunners.
Yeah, I feel like
Edgerunners
I agree with that statement.
carried that game back to being like relevant and like good, even though the game's story is fucking amazing. But people didn't play the game because it's buggy.
But yeah, Cyberpunk was one of those games, like, it was supposed to be the new... Oh, how can I put this? It was supposed to be revolutionary. It was supposed to be, like, much better game than, like... It's hard to make this comparison, but I guess you can make the same comparison. It was supposed to be, like, a huge overtake on GTA, but be more perspective and realistic, in my opinion.
I would say, GTA and Cyberpunk are, I can.
They're
agree.
similar, but they're also differences. Like, and here's my thing. I think the gunplay and the cars and stuff play way better in Cyberpunk. I'm a fond believer that Cyberpunk...
Driving in Cyberpunk is better than driving in GTA.
Ain't that the truth?
Personally, because everything just feels very floaty.
It feels fluid. It feels like it feels connected, like it's all in one in Cyberpunk. But in GTA, it's, oh hey, random car. I mean, you could say that for Cyberpunk 2 because of the bugs back in the day. But it still feels like it was an interconnected world rather than, let me just go travel here and travel here. GTA, it's, oh, let me just do drive-bys, while in Cyberpunk, you feel like you're in an actual connected world with people to talk to. In GTA, you just feel like a stone.
Yeah. For sure.
In GTA, it's just like, I'm here to goof off. But in Cyberpunk, it's like, you feel like you have a world to save. You feel like you have an obligation. In GTA, like, where's the obligation? Let me just fuel my cocaine shack and get more money so I can buy a better car.
Pretty much.
And that's what all life is about.
Miller, what are those?
And back gamers.
Welcome back, Lumi.
The gameplay loop for GTA is kind of boring.
Exactly.
feel like
I
it's
100% agree with
I feel
that.
like which GTA are you talking about?
We're talking about GTA 5.
GTA 5 specifically.
Yeah.
I would agree, but you're thinking about like a lot of like Chinatown Wars or like San Andreas even, or like a lot of other GTA games. There's like so many different like ways to like play that shit. I feel like 5 really just did not have enough content in terms of like for solo players, and especially like campaign. It's just that game is too linear in itself, and and literally, like you said, Pierce is literally the whole, oh, you fucking fuel up your cocaine, fucking drug lord, fucking fantasies, and buy a new car or whatever. That's literally all you do in GTA 5. Chinatown Wars, you're more, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing in 5 too, but I feel like it's more meaningful, like, with other shit, instead of just, like,
I have a
I don't know, like, GTA 5, I guess, like, it's all about getting cars, and, I mean, yeah, you can buy an apartment, but I feel like buying an apartment, especially now, is not as important as, like, getting, like, a certain property in Chinatown Wars. Like, getting property in Chinatown Wars feels more, like, important than, oh, I need to get this apartment in GTA 5. Or, like, oh, I need to get this, you know, kind of shit. I don't know, I just feel like a lot of stuff that they have in the older GTA games is more important feeling, kind of like. Whereas in GTA 5, like you just said, it's like, you go in, you kill people, do a couple missions. Okay, I can buy a new car.
Yeah, something like that gets reviewed so positively because it's for me it's such a repetitive thing. Like it's just not. It's the same thing over and over again. Yet it's reviewed so well. And if I were to give a review, I would say I would be that person to give it like, you know, a 4 out of 5 or like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, yeah, it's great, but it's very samey. You do everything the same, and to even play online, but to play by yourself or campaign, if you play online, you still get screwed over by all the people trying to play solo. And I mean, I was a firm abuser of the check internet while online glitch, just to get my own solo lobby to do things. Because I was so pissed off about what people would do. Let me just fly an AC-130 and let me just blow up your transport. Yeah, that's fun. Every 10 minutes.
And then people got annoyed about Roman. What is his name? Roman in GTA 4. Asking about fucking. Let's go bowling. It's like, dude, I find that more entertaining.
The story in 4 was amazing.
Yes, like the story in 4 is so good. Like, I actually need to play that game. That game.
I can actually like
has an actual story.
like a big review argument is story.
Like 5's got a good story, but I feel like 4 like felt more like connected. It felt more like.
It felt more human.
Oh, I actually give a fuck about these plot points that are happening instead of just like, oh, this kind of just happened out of nowhere. Okay.
Let's go
like,
bowling.
Yeah, that sounds nice, Roman.
That sounds nice.
I always went for the let's go bowling. But most reviews nowadays most takes on not just gameplay and graphic outlet and weird comparisons, but a lot of it also goes towards story. And like you were saying, Bronson, story is a major thing, like GTA 5 being kind of bland, but GTA 4 being more humanized and just somebody trying to live a normal and new life. And Henry can talk about like other games, like a game like Life is Strange, where the story in that is so beautifully written that there's a huge base around it. And that's why it's reviewed so well. But still, it had a good review base because the game as such was written so good that people wanted to figure out more and know more.
Yeah.
And that's why a game like that deserves a high rating as it does. But a game like Overwatch, per se, that gets review bombed like every day, I know it's a weird comparison to make, but people critique it. Yeah, for sake of comparison reasons. People review bomb it to hell because it's not because what people hate about the game, it's what the devs and everything do, and that's the review comes toward the devs and not the actual game itself. Now you can make the argument saying that everything is busted and or unbalanced, but at that point that's just a review over at the devs and something that gets review bombed. People are now swaying you from playing the game because it's so bad, but that really shouldn't swift your opinion. Overwatch is still a very solid game, and it still can be fun with the right people.
I enjoy
now at least like they're putting in content. Fuck, at least I can play Overwatch and, you know, like get into a game with people that, you know, like more than 5 people will play at least. You know? Play champions.
Yeah. How old is Quake
You know,
Champions,
I don't know.
though?
It's not that old, honestly. I mean, okay, now it's kind of old, but like, dude, it was like this since launch, like 2017. Since 2017, that game has been basically, I did forget about it. It's fucking fun.
I mean, it's hard to really tell with Quake Champions.
It's just because everyone that plays the game is such a fanboy and like doesn't want to admit most to it. And besides like a few Quake people that are like, this game is great. It's just you could have more content in it. And then it just no one fucking bothers. And then they have like a moment where they're like, oh, we're gonna add some stuff. We got a new update. And then they literally like have like it's like a Team Fortress 2 type. Actually, arguably, Team Fortress 2 has been better updates than this really. Because they felt bad on Big Champions has been.
Yeah, like I agree with stuff like that. It brings a whole negative impact upon people when it's just a huge, constant, overwhelming feeling of what people say, and usually people's words are a big oppression in today's society. And you know, the saying "sticks and stones," in my opinion, no longer really has relevance because words are hurting everybody in today's day and age.
Yeah.
It's lost its meaning.
For sure.
It's really leading more to the point of sticks and stones is going to make or break anything that is talked about, especially with games nowadays.
Game developers try to cater to game journalists, whereas game journalists don't make up player base.
And I feel like that's the major flaw because they're leaning more toward the journalists and critics and what they want rather than what the people want. Because that's why people get such backwards-ended reviews where journalists and critics are like one thing, but your whole community built behind it doesn't like it. You're sacrificing what one group of people wants for another group of people. You gotta find a good middle spot.
For sure.
I mean, look at Starfield, or not Starfield. No Man's Sky. Game was very, very rough at launch. Very rough.
Oh.
Bare bones.
The amount of promises that the team behind No Man's Sky had for the game was a fucking joke.
It was laughably bad. But now, like, what was it? Almost a year later, everything came to light, everything came to flourish. They were working behind the scenes and they gave out what they promised. They worked on it. And the game went from being one of the lowest rated games to being one of like the more respected higher up games because the devs actually gave a shit. They did something to fix their problem. And that's when reviews started being more positive.
No.
What are games that you guys think that are that have been negatively reviewed that we could talk about?
Please just starting to make a drink.
Mortal
Fuck it.
Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat 11?
Nah, Mortal Kombat 11
I always hear bad reviews on that, but
Mortal-
I love playing it.
Mortal Kombat 11. Oh shit!
Nah,
Mortal
Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch.
It wasn't that
Mortal Kombat
bad.
on the Switch.
Okay, Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch was awful.
Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch deserves the fucking.
See, Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch isn't bad. Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch is
I mean,
like,
Mortal Kombat 1
Mortal Kombat
looks
1, I'm in
amazing.
love with it,
Oh,
I
yeah.
play it.
but not the Switch.
Not
I-
on the Switch. Not on the fucking Switch.
Well, duh. Switch has a whole bunch of limitations.
Bro,
That's on the developers' part for releasing that. It's not. It wasn't a
Dude,
good
I
idea.
was saying, I thought you were gonna say that was the developer's part for not.
Dragon Ball Fighters has a hard time running on the Switch itself.
I thought you were gonna say that it was the developer's fault for for actually developing. I'm like, I don't think they could have developed it any better than that, to be honest.
One thing I am happy about,
Developed it for the Switch. You
The
should
Swi-
put
Yeah.
extra resources.
the
for
Switch has too many. Where the Switch stands with its hardware, it's so hard to put something like the Unreal Engine 5 on the Switch. There's specific engines made for Switch titles like Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey. There's specific engines that work with that hardware.
fucking beautiful.
It is a great game. And there's a reason why that games like that don't get review bombed, because they're so good and like they feel fluid, they feel good on the system they're made for. But if you were to say to put it in 60 FPS on the PC, yeah, you're going to love it even more. But when it comes to like other games like Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat 1 and 11, where its graphics engine is through the roof and hell, PCs and consoles struggle to run it, that's where you fall into the issue of it getting review bombed in the wrong way. Not only is because Switch limitation can't really render like all like Scorpion's fire particles or all Sub-Zero's ice and have to cut a lot of that out in the middle of gameplay, that shouldn't be just review bombed because of a limitation. You should still respect the game for what they did and what they tried to give to you. People these days can't afford a top tier gaming PC or next gen console, and Switch is probably the next best thing for console players who like handhelds or consoles. It's probably the cheapest console on the market that you can get. And I'm just happy that Mortal Kombat 1 didn't get review bombed, because that game, I'm happy people took the reboot very well.
Here you go. Oh, of course. You guys take care.
The reboot was definitely the right call, because where Mortal Kombat 11 went was just tomfoolery. There's just something about...
I mean,
Well, go ahead.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of like all the way up to 11. I'll admit they were kind of being goofy near the end of 11, but I feel like before 11 they were kind of in the right track with 9. Like, and then they had 10, and I feel like those two games were like really good.
MK9 and MK10, very good.
Bangers. Although, I feel like the ending of 10 flopped, but they were still bangers.
505 for you. Yeah, those two fucking games, 9 and 10, I would fucking play them.
What's the best part is game critics / reviewers will tell you to go back and play Mortal Kombat 10 just for the experience. And honestly, I couldn't agree less. That game is an ultimate banger, and there's a reason why that game is still played more than 11. It felt fluent, it felt good.
Awesome. I didn't play it because I wasn't huge into Mortal Kombat. I played MK9. MK9 goes hard.
Oh yeah.
He's moving around more. Of course.
Hey John, how you doing? Oh, did we talk about Fallout 76? No, we haven't, but we can.
Ooh.
This one's a big one. I pre-ordered Fallout 76, making it my first Fallout game I ever played. I know, bad me. I'm good, and you? Pretty good. We're doing a podcast tonight about why game critics and reviewers shouldn't sway you from playing games you want to play. And we're making some very good traction and very good points.
One size fits all.
Right now, thanks to Nightfire, we are going to talk about Fallout 76.
Fallout 76.
Hold on. After Fallout 76, I got a request.
Alright. Sounds good to me.
Yakuza game.
Yakuza?
Yakuza. It's
Yeah.
an old game.
Yakuza's not that old. It got remasters, and it's already like one of the critically acclaimed, one of the better...
Actually, I agree with her.
And Fatal Frame. That's another one. That got a lot.
Well, you better put your input on it when we get there.
I will if I'm not busy.
Well Roman too.
Yakuza and Fatal Frame.
I've actually
Yes. Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame.
Yes.
never. I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah, another one.
What was the other one?
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. I think it's bad marketing.
Where have I been? I've been under a rock apparently.
Ghostwire Tokyo had very good trailers that gave a very specific vibe to them. Alluded to a very specific type of game, whereas the game in reality was a thriller action game, where it didn't really seem like the Japanese horror folklore and everything like that doesn't really work for that type of game. It would play better into a horror game or like a thriller centric game
Yeah.
rather than an FPS game. So
Like,
I just think it's bad marketing on their
it there's a time and place for like everything how it's made. Like you shouldn't just throw like you shouldn't throw a shooting sequence in the middle of a thriller when it's not supposed to be a shooter at all. You're supposed to make that like a running sequence or really a hide for your life sequence kind of deal,
Okay.
not like
I have
shoot
an
things.
opinion. I
Alright,
have
go
an
ahead.
opinion.
Speak your mind.
Horror games where you can defend yourself are not good horror games.
Are you saying that you should be able to or shouldn't be able to?
You shouldn't be able to.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. I like this take. I really like this.
I agree with you to some extent. I feel like okay, with Condemned 1, I agree and disagree. Because the first half of Condemned is fucking amazing, especially when you can
I have
defend
two
yourself.
jobs.
Because you're sitting there running around with no gun or barely any ammo, and you're sitting there trying to punch all these fucking, like, they're not undead, but like they're just like crazy like psychopaths or whatever, and all you have is a melee weapon, and you're basically just, I mean, some people might not, you know, find like this combat like interesting in a horror game, but I feel like especially when you're running through walls in an abandoned building, like it just adds to like the badassery kind of, and it doesn't take away from the thrilling aspect. Where it kills the thrill aspect is when they give you the taser, and you could just basically go, okay, now they're down. Okay, we're gonna block it. That's where like when you got weapons like that,
horror games shouldn't have weapons.
Well,
Because
what about games like?
it
feel like
ruins the horror aspect.
But what about games like Amnesia, where you can get
Amnesia,
weapons?
You're completely defenseless.
Resident Evil.
But
I mean, Resident Evil though, the reason Resident Evil works.
Resident
is
Evil
it's
is
not like
closer
you
to a
don't have-
thriller than a fucking horror.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
Like,
to an extent, yeah.
even like.
I mean, look at Resident Evil 7. That one was very like, that one was kind of scary.
It was.
I feel like you
spooky.
can get away with like scarce ammo.
Like
Scarce ammo. I feel
that's why they're reviewed so well is because games
Scarce
like that.
ammo, I can agree, but even then, it's still like.
and like really
There's a
hard to
middle ground.
like okay if you got play combat going on, you got.
I mean, look at games like SCP, for example, where there's like no defense by yourself at all.
Terrifying.
It's very terrifying, and I'm happy. It's a great game, and like when it got its new huge community behind it with the multiplayer, like critics and reviewers couldn't even like comprehend how good it feels to work with other people in a scenario like that. It feels so good. Like hell, it gives people the thriller that they need, and just to hear the mass panic of when you see SCP escape and you're right there, just the mass panic. It's such a great feeling. But when it comes to like guarding in horror / thriller games, there should be to an extent, or it should be a defining mechanic. Like Amnesia the Bunker, completely agree that there should not be a block in that game.
Yeah,
And-
well, okay. So, to cut you off there, I mean, Amnesia the Bunker, while there is a semi-defense mechanic, it doesn't... You can't kill the monster.
Right.
You can't really defend yourself either, and the shit is limited. It's...
down there.
I mean... You don't really use... Okay, as someone who's played the game, it doesn't really... It didn't, like, feel good to shoot the weapon. It kind of just existed. It did fucking nothing.
It got locks open, but at that point it wouldn't be worth it.
It scared the monster away from, like, fucking with you. Up to a certain point, it did get resistant to you shooting them over and over again. So you kind of need to use it sparingly, but it's... I finished the game in, like, how long, Roman? Like, 8 hours?
Yeah, 8-10 hours, give it a take. Yeah.
And I wasn't getting hunted down that much. The monster's
But when you did, I
pretty
mean,
passive.
it was scary. Didn't take away
Scarier
exactly
to
from the
you,
horror.
probably.
I suppose. Horror subjective, though.
You're just a big baby.
And like a game like that where it's not like review bomb
Holy
the
shit,
hell.
Henry got a bed? Holy
got a bed?
shit!
If they are playing modern Minecraft in the background, so they I mean they were playing this before I got home.
Mechanic then is a really good horror game, Alien Isolation. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Alien Isolation. I was just about to bring that up. Alien Isolation is a great in between and middle
That has,
ground.
like, literally some of the best defense mechanics in a horror.
Exactly.
And you cannot, like,
Can we see
I feel like you can't argue that because of the fact
The
that
mechanics
the
around
flamethrowers
exactly.
don't kill
Nobody
the aliens.
plays Alien Isolation, though, for the defense mechanics.
Right.
People
you're right.
don't
I
give
mean,
a
they
fuck
play
about
it.
that. Because it's an
You're right.
excellently crafted horror experience. The defense mechanic, who gives a fuck?
There we go, I can sleep.
Oh, we have an ad break,
The
guys.
defense mechanic doesn't take it away from the horror experience. in my opinion.
That's just because Alien Isolation is a fucking massive outlier, though. It is a masterpiece of a horror.
Exactly. And with something like that where the gunplay feels fluent, your puzzles feel great, and not just that, but like stealth mechanics as well. It all correlates just into a perfect horror game. Now, obviously, when you go up against the alien itself, you can't block the alien. That thing's just an insta kill. But being able to, like, somewhat get out of sticky situations against the bots or the humans that shoot back or fight you, it's a good change of pace between running for your life and trying to survive a space deadland.
Yeah.
And especially when you go down to the breeding zone, you feel helpless. There's not a damn thing you can do. You just gotta hope and pray that you make it out of there and get what you need and get out.
Yeah.
There's that surreal feeling of, am I going to die here, or am I going to see the next day? And it fits the block of a masterpiece level to where it gets to the point where blocking in a horror game is no longer your final card out. It's straight up do or die. And in a critic zone and a review zone like that, I feel like that most people who would review it the right way would be like, yeah, this feels like I'm on the fight for life and death. At this point, defending myself is no longer in the option. I just have to play my cards right and hope I survive.
Yeah.
I am now level.
And that's why
Another
critics say to
game
play it.
that is
Bro, how'd you get level
Outlast
3 before
1.
me?
I've never
Outlast
played
1
Outlast.
Specifically.
I've never played Outlast, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
Outlast 1, do you at least know anything about it?
Not really.
It's the horror game where you're a journalist with a camera, go into a mental asylum, and you just gotta figure out what the fuck happened there. And it's
Really, it's a pretty big horror, but yeah.
it has some of the like it's pretty gritty horror. And you're completely fucking defenseless. Think of it like Amnesia, kind of.
It's like a darker Amnesia, I'd say.
Well,
'Cause it's
could you
got
make a
some
comparison to like something like Phas?
themes in there.
Yeah. Huh?
Could you make it to like a comparison like Phasmophobia? I mean, aside from it just being like a walking simulator, there's got to be more you can do.
I'm really surprised you do not know about Outlast, because that's like right after Amnesia. I'd say that's like one of the most popular like.
Well, back at the time, I was more playing Halo, and I wasn't into the horror genre as much as I am now.
I mean, neither was I.
But
Even,
Phas,
I mean,
no.
fuck, I heard PewDiePie playing
Outlast.
Outlast. Everyone was like really freaked out about Outlast when that game came out, so I'm just kind of surprised you didn't care about it.
I'm behind on
Or-
quite a few
I feel like
games.
I feel like you've seen gameplay after this. There is no, I don't know. I just cause.
I mean, the game came out in like 2015, so it's been.
Like, it is.
It's nearly been a decade.
Almost, in a way. I would say.
Oh, it's
It's like a
it's
fun
iconic
game.
as fuck.
Y'all play State of Decay?
Wouldn't say that's
State of
iconic
Decay?
as like
I did not.
Amnesia, but
State of Decay is pretty good. The Juggernaut.
I don't think a lot of
The
people
sequel
here
was
played
the
State of
one.
Decay.
State of Decay was
I-
good. I played the sequel. The sequel was a big disappointment, but other than that, like, it's like an open world like. I'm trying to think of like what game to compare it to.
7 Days to Die. I mean, that's
I
kind of the
guess you
same.
could say not really Days Gone, but because there's not really so many games. I guess you could really compare it. At least, especially. They just don't really have like a lot of zombie defense games anymore, really.
I wish there was more games that were like. I want to have a game that's reviewed nicely. That's a zombie game that acts like 7 Days to Die, but also has like the gleaming graphics of something like Dying Light or something. I want something like that. Something that doesn't feel janky.
Solid defense. I just want a modern solid defense, but first person shooter. Just give me that. That's all I want.
But back to the.
I'm just such a basic boy.
Back to the topic of Fallout 76 about from Nightfire suggesting earlier about Fallout. Fallout 76 had a rough start, a very rough start, and it was my first Fallout game, so I knew nothing about it. Knew nothing about Fallout. All I knew is rads and make sure you live and stay away from Deathclaws.
Yeah, more or less.
I didn't think it was super bad. Obviously, there were quite a few bugs, and if you travel a lot, you can go to the overleveled area and then instantly die. But there was nothing I saw that was really bad in my eyes. But there was so much so much bad review that it definitely swayed a lot of the player base away from it. That is a major thing that was there. That player base nearly died like half a year after game launch.
I mean, it was pretty buggy.
Oh yeah, like I got my first set of power armor when I was like level 20, and then all of a sudden I just fell through the world as soon as I entered the power armor on the rack, and I just fell. I'm like, what just happened? And then I died and I lost my armor. It was very confusing.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean,
Sometimes weapons didn't work. It was very weird. Death claws running at you through the speed of sound and clawing your face off.
Fallout 4 on release got pretty bad press, if I recall correctly. A lot of people did not like Fallout 4.
Because they wanted New Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level 4.
Bro, how are
It's
you
funny,
level
got
4?
people that played New Vegas and then loved it. Dude, that game was like the most mixed Fallout probably the most mixed game in general I've fucking seen, period.
Boy.
I've never heard how many people, I've never heard how many people would just come up to me and be like, I love this game. I fucking hate this game. I love this game.
Yeah, that's what I heard a lot back in high
Literally,
school.
I had literally back in high school, I had a whole group of friends. Literally, like, I had about like 5 or 6 friends. All love Fallout 4. Another group of friends, 5 or 6, all hated Fallout 4. I love New Vegas. I hate Fallout 4.
Yeah, that was a huge argument then, was comparing like an old 360 game to like the next gen Xbox One game, but yet there was still more of a fan base over the version of New Vegas rather than 4, because 4 left out a whole lot from what I remember that like Vegas had.
It was such a drastic difference in terms of like RPG mechanics
Yeah.
and like writing that it kind of just like it was hard to compete.
Like you still had your VATS, you still had your power armor and stuff, but at that point
Still Fallout.
it was still
but
Fallout.
It wasn't Fallout New Vegas, which people loved and literally still adore to this day.
On the outside, it was wearing the shell of Fallout, but on the inside, it was missing that story critic that Vegas had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just missing the atmosphere that New Vegas gave off.
Big sunset.
No,
Oh,
just
holy cow,
laughing.
J-Chan! Thank you for the raid of 37! I was lurking in your stream the entire time. Hello, SlushFox420. Welcome, Raiders!
Hi, people.
Let me give a shout. Slash. How you doing, Jay? How's the stream been? It's been pretty good. We've been talking about why game reviewers and everything and critics should not sway your opinion about games you want to play. And right now we're on the topic of Fallout. Here's a shout out to J-Chan. Give J-Chan a follow. J-Chan is an amazing streamer and an amazing Blender artist. Makes a lot of Destiny 2 Blender art, and it's super duper great. I plan on getting a commission eventually if I can ever find myself to be financially stable enough.
Hey, make something about Overwatch.
Level 5.
Hello, Godsblade. How you doing? But yes, do give J-Chan a huge... Go give him a follow. Amazing streamer. Loves the cute things with the cute chat. What an amazing guy, a Chad. I love playing Destiny with him. It's always a great time. If it wasn't, honestly, I'm gonna say this now, if it wasn't for Jay, I wouldn't be as good at PvP as I was then on PC. I'm good, and you doing good, talking about why game critics and reviewers shouldn't sway on games you play. But right now, we're on the topic of Fallout 76 and Fallout New Vegas, or Fallout 76, Fallout 4, and New Vegas. Talking about what their comparisons and why their reviews were drastically different. And but even though that they were so significantly different, you should still be swayed to not play them. You should still play
But
to your heart's
it's-
content.
It's still a great game by itself.
Exactly. And
It's just
if
nostalgia boners as well.
exactly, like if you look at it from a standing point, you should never ever be like, well, somebody said they hated this game. They didn't like how its mechanics works. So maybe I shouldn't play it. You should never ever have the mindset of, I shouldn't do something because somebody else didn't like it. You should always go in with a fresh experience. Exactly.
Well, that's a dead-ass me saying Super Mario Bros. 2 for the US is like the worst Mario game, even though, like...
What? That was a banger!
No, but there's like a lot of people that argue that game sucks because it's not really Super Mario Brothers 2. It's just another, because what happened with, I don't know if you know the story. It's essentially not really, it's literally just a random Japanese exclusive game that they slapped Super Mario Brothers 2 over, and they just changed the sprites to make it look like Mario. But the game still was really good, and it still played decent amount like Mario, but not a lot of people
Oh, for
picked
sure.
up on it. But like, I don't know, I kind of like that happened because now we actually got to experience a pretty unique game that otherwise we would have just got like probably one of the worst Mario Brothers games. I mean, not saying like the game actually is like that bad, but
Yeah, I definitely think it's not a bad game at all.
like the second, like the actual second game, like the one that they only released in Japan, is literally too difficult.
Like they slapped Mario in Lost Levels, Mario 2, Lost Levels and whatnot. They bombed that game so hard that because of its difficulty by itself. And I feel like, well, you already ran through Mario 1 and you saw how easy that was. But don't you want a challenge in something like that? Like hell, I want a challenge. I mean, look at Super Mario Maker nowadays. You make Kaizo levels.
I get it, but like I don't know. There was like especially like the first couple levels, like you hit like a question. I mean, I don't know. I guess like it is subjective. Like some people think the game is not as hard, and some people think the game like too hard or whatever. Like me basically, but I don't know. It's just one of those games that like
Yeah.
you kind of either love it or hate it.
Exactly. And games like that age like a fine wine.
Especially with like the bad mushroom, that's I think what really killed a lot of people. But that
Yeah.
literally hitting the question block and then going, oh shit, this isn't a regular mushroom. Now I gotta go back and then they purposely had levels where you would have to hit the question block, and then you have to go fucking side to side to dodge it to make sure you don't hit it, or else you literally just die because it's bad mushroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
And in all honesty, like a game like that where it was poorly seen back then, poorly reviewed, poorly talked about, aged like a fine wine in today's day and age. Now people look at it like as a new sanctum for difficulty in Mario. Because look at Mario Maker now. There's so much Kaizo levels, and it's all based off. It's literally based off Mario 2 from its difficulty.
Yep.
And what we got over here in the US for Mario 2 is some sort of weird pick your character Mario game, which I don't even know.
It's not even really Mario. It's I forgot what it's actually called, but if you played the Japanese version, it's like all the sprites are like it's like completely different. It's not even like it's the same game, but like Luigi is like this blue like dress like mage looking thing, and then you got like the Toad looks like just a random dude or whatever. It's like a lot of
it was definitely very different.
Yes, literally.
Now that moving on to the next game and topic at hand, this is one I know that Bloody Wolf and Roman really want to get to. Is the Yakuza games. Now, me and myself, I have not played them, but these two have an expertise on it, and I would like to have them, if they would like to, take the stage and lead the charge with this. If they would like to, or if Roman is not sleeping.
I mean, the main point I just wanted to say is the fact that the Yakuza games in general, while they are like critically acclaimed now, when they were first created back in like the PS era, they were very much. I don't think it's because they were bad or anything. It's just because it was such a niche audience, and a lot more people wanted to play. If they're gonna play a beat 'em up game and such, they'd play the Devil May Cry games or anything else.
Also, it was like a game that was overshadowed by other popular beat 'em ups or proper story games that have not the comedy that it needs. But
it wasn't like the story that was holding the game back or anything like that. It was just like people wanted.
It was the gameplay.
It was partially gameplay and partially just people found other things more bedazzling. The thing about Yakuza is that you learn that it's not just the combat that like makes the game. It's just the overall everything. It really blew up like in the States and over media on Zero, just because for one it was like the big beginning of the game, and also like it's a fluid game. It's insane.
oh yeah, and it looks amazing.
It is. Without Yakuza 0 like blowing up, literally the other Yakuza games would have never gotten a remaster.
Now Yakuza now to Yakuza then, do you think it aged pretty good for its time?
Yeah. Well, the original games, like, okay, if you mean like the PS games, no, they have not aged well at all.
I'm talking about like the evolution. Like, do you think in the evolution wise they aged well?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Between the original games and like going to like 5, yeah, it's insane. or even 4.
And like, how do you feel about how people reviewed it from then and now? What's your take on how the people felt?
People in the original games, it's kind of mid for them. But like nowadays, oh no, like people love it. It's loved so much that they're coming out with tons of spin-offs. In fact, it's a little oversaturated.
Dude, they're even gonna have pachinko machines. I can't wait for my Yakuza.
And I feel like pushing games in that direction is a really good sign that people are doing something right, even though something is as old as the original Yakuza games to now being completely updated and redone with a remaster. I feel like it's a step in the right direction for gaming generations overall. Because they're not only are they remastering something or like, you know, trying to improve upon the formula, but it's also showing like, hey, we did this then, but can we do it again but make it better? And I feel like it's 2 steps in the right direction. Sometimes you got to go 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And you always return to your roots when it comes to developing.
Yeah. I think that's a good criticism. Although I think there is such a thing as beating a dead horse.
True. Like, and I'm gonna put this up, Destiny 2 right now. We were literally beating a dead horse for like over a year now. We got the same seasonal pass for like a year and a half, and it got to the point where it was just, God, it was the same thing, beating a dead horse. Weekly story mission. Let's do this. Let's do for a year and a half the same activity and get just different guns, and that's just beating a dead horse. And I can understand why reviews about that were just taken straight downhill, because it was just something that was consistently the same, getting bombed. But with this new season, like Season of the Witch, it's completely different, and I like it. It shows that they are not trying to be the same. But I completely see your point about beating a dead horse. Destiny 2 was just the first game that popped in the head about beating said dead horse. But I completely understand and agree what you're coming from about old games becoming a new timeless classic in today's day and age, even if the remaster version is obviously way better.
Yeah. No, yeah, I see what you mean.
Any other
It's
games?
invested I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that.
Henry, I know you have quite a few games. You wanted to talk about one. You called out earlier.
I mean, I have one that I can talk about, but
Well, talk about it. Speak your mind.
Life is Strange got
Ooh.
fucking loads of bad press on.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Alright, I am going to disconnect from the world for a little bit because I gotta go eat.
All right, Lumi. We'll talk to you here in a bit.
Yeah.
Life is Strange 1, Before the Storm, which is a prequel to 1, and 2. Just the game series in general got so much flack for being... Oh, what's a good word?
In your face?
1, preachy, 2, cringy writing.
Really? So like
Those are really no, that is actually the 2 main points.
like
Yeah,
critically and from a review standpoint, like was too talky.
The first game, yeah, kind of. Because the first game, you play as a teenager in 2013 in high school.
God, what a year.
So you're already off to a bad start. It's also a boarding school, so there's preppy ass rich kids that think they're better than you. So that's already adding another layer on top of it.
Yeah. Talking about the premise of where the game stands. I just want to ask this question about game set at the time. Do you guys think that going back years, like games like Call of Duty or whatnot, do you think it's always too much or they're going so far in depth where going back to those years is too much for all the games that they make nowadays?
What do you mean?
Like setting game years in like, the 1800s or the 1900s or current day. Do you think it's too much and they're not performing well because they're not something that's sci-fi or something that's, shoot 'em up, beat 'em up?
I think it might get better views because, like, if they do something like back in time, you feel like it'd be more history related. But then, like, if they just go back in time and do some like BS, then like, it won't make sense.
It's not like a Red Dead Redemption standpoint because, like you're saying, having something go back in time and feel repetitive, like Call of Duty with all the World War II games, I definitely see the standpoint on that. But something like Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 is something that's classified as a masterpiece because they did something so well for that game's age, for it sits in
I
time.
feel like the only reason it doesn't work so well is because every company tries to add like all this new tech shit in these World War II type games, and they're like, yeah, we got Cyberpunk Army.
And then, like, what Henry's talking,
Like,
yeah. What Henry's talking about with the games being setting in 2020 or 2013, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that, like, the 2010s was a good, like, I would say it's like high. It was pretty lax. It was really good. Like 2010 to 2015 was
pretty chill.
exactly. And I feel like games being set back in time periods like that shouldn't be a detriment on gaming history.
Well, it's
literally set in like what time, and it's like literally one of the best shooters. I feel like a lot of games are just like really, they're not like giving themselves enough options, and they just completely opt out the modern era because, or like 2010s, because it's like there's so much important shit that happened then. You could still like make such a great story, especially like out of that era. Like you don't need to go back and World War II and all this shit. Like, you don't. You literally don't.
Like my reasoning for bringing up like the time it took place is because you can get a sense of like how the characters behave during that time, like how people acted, like how they were like kind of like, teenagers during that time were kind of cringy. They were like keep calm and carry on, that type.
It was a time.
Was a big thing.
It was a time period where culture was out there, and it's not like people on their phones all the time. Like people actually went out and did things.
Yeah, exactly. But like, my point was like, you could understand how those people acted, but a lot of the people that played that game didn't like that like that stereotypical, like that stereotype of teens within that era, like the artsy students, that fucking hipster shit.
And that's why I feel like when people critiqued it, they look at it for like all the wrong reasons. It's more of like, oh my god, like why are they talking about this or why are they doing that? When morely, I feel like what the developers' messages were, aside from just writing a story, was to show us like what we were then compared to us now. It's supposed to be like a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
Not just for like, a player, not just for the game.
People that did play the Life is Strange games, they did get a sense of nostalgia from those times because they were so well written and captured that time period so well. The thing is though that they progressed, like the first game took place in 2013, second game took place in 2016, and the third True Colors took place in either 2018 or 2019. So like it's like getting to the present and everything,
And that's always a bad thing.
and like people progressively didn't like it more and more. To be fair, they went from one developer to another, and one team already had, like, the fans already had a bad taste in their mouth already with that team because they made Before the Storm, which a lot of people didn't like because they got rid of one of the original voice actors, but they were doing their own thing because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
In 2016.
And I feel like most games lose their roots if you lose essential parts, like voice actors and whatnot. It doesn't make it feel like it being original. I don't know what's playing. Hold on 1 second. I had an ad playing on SoundCloud. But back to what I was saying, like, it's being looked at the wrong way. And I feel like another big issue that's being looked at another wrong way is multiple developer teams going to and through. One team has one site and another team has another site. Oh my god, don't get me started with them. I will blow a gasket over that. But
What is it?
Treyarch and Infinity Ward and Ravensoft about Call of Duty.
Ooh, and Sledgehammer.
Yeah, and them. That's a whole rabbit hole that I don't want to go down.
Under, actually?
No, Sledgehammer is pseudo back. They work under Ravensoft.
Oh, okay.
But that's a whole rabbit hole I don't want to go under. But yeah, like, I can definitely see the point of where games like that would take a dip in quality or could be better in quality, but moving through different development teams who have different sites for the game can definitely inflict a game. But I feel like that shouldn't be the main premise. I feel like it's more of an evolution. It's like growing up. Just how the game is supposed to be played out, like you were saying. Relive memories back then and see where we progress and grow up till now. We might have, like, good developer here, but growing up, it could be a worse developer, but it goes to show, like, hey, we're growing, even though it's different, it's still growing up. It's still making a legacy.
For sure.
Good. Whatever time is it for you? How you been? It is 7:31 p.m. my time. I've been pretty good. Just
You got like 30
talk about this podcast. And ad
Yeah.
break. Yay.
What?
But,
Yeah, I can do it.
my point was, though, that since Life is Strange got such bad rep on launch, it kind of stagnated the growth, even in today's, like,
Yeah, I feel like it got bad justice. Like, it's not even... I seen you play it through Discord stream, and honestly, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It was a trip down memory lane.
I would definitely play it for yourself, because it's a game that you take your time for sure.
I've played the game myself. It's a good game.
Like, it's something that you gotta, like you're saying, it's something you gotta experience for yourself, and,
I
you
mean,
know...
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
But it's a
And I
nice
already know
break.
that.
It's a nice break from today's age.
Mhm.
And that's what I feel like. That's where we should find a medium in some RPG element games or some type of game that isn't, like, you know, super fast, realistic, and beat 'em up, shoot 'em up. I feel like we should have more critically acclaimed games that are good reviewed for breaking the mold of going back and helping us relive specific days. And most games that are made like that nowadays are just... It never looks good on them. They're just like, why are you doing this? It shouldn't be like this, and yada yada. If it gets review bombed like that, it's obviously it's already known to flop. But something like Life is Strange, people didn't let those critics and reviewers take them down. They actually played it, and look where it is. I mean, it's got a good following. It's got a good base.
I mean,
Obviously, it's not as big as it should be.
It's like half and half.
Yeah, it's not as big as it should be, and it was dealt an injustice because of something that people nowadays don't see as proper.
You got someone more
But
good.
I definitely like your perspective on this, because it goes to show, like, gaming as itself is growing. Gaming itself is growing, but the attitude toward gaming and the reviews and everything is growing more poor each game, each year, each release of something.
Yeah.
That's why I like talking to you about game shit, because it's always like a nice conversation like this where we can see like the air of what critics and reviewers do on a regular basis. And most of it is not only just perspective, but most people focus on gameplay. I'm more of those jack of all trades, you gotta focus on everything. I mean, look at Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was all premised on just the capturing Pokemon. The story was kind of here after bad, and then don't get me started on the gameplay. That was all awful for Scarlet and Violet. But what they really did with flop the script was Pokemon Legends Arceus. That one took an entire story change. It changed how Pokemon worked by still keeping some of the fundamentals. It was a step in the right direction.
Well, actually, you know that Legends Arceus is actually the original Sinnoh.
Yeah, I know that. But
Ancient Sinnoh.
yeah, it's Ancient Sinnoh. But it was a step in the right direction, making Pokemon open world, making you feel like you're doing the adventure, and you actually get to be like in the battles yourself, walk around as a person in the front of danger, not like this turn base where you could be like, okay, Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. No, you were in the fight yourself, and if you got overexerted or knocked out, like Pokemon was real, you could actually suffer the consequences and be taken to a center. That's something that was like a big step in the right direction. Being involved not only as the Pokemon, but also yourself was just an amazing swap of gameplay.
The thing is, like, a lot of people talk more about, like, Scarlet and Violet than they did, Arceus.
Exactly. And I understand Scarlet and Violet was just a, woo wee.
Okay, so me playing Pokemon so much, I can tell you now that the DLC for Scarlet and Violet is actually really good, and the plot's actually pretty decent. Like, the gameplay and everything's so fast, but like the actual plot line for it is actually really good.
And it comes to that point again where story beats gameplay. And honestly, I could always kill for a good story, even regardless of the gameplay.
So in the Sinnoh game, you meet a girl that has like adamant hair from Legend Arceus. Well, she's the actual descendant, and she is in the DLC. And it's actually really cool. And the new characters that you meet, they have really good plot and storylines for them too. And there's also a pretty good twist.
Like, leave it to Nintendo to rate good story.
Oh yeah, the plot in the DLC is really good. And that's not even there's also another DLC coming out, the Indigo Disc, where it continues on from the Teal Mask DLC. So it's a continuation.
I have a
what they
question.
leave you off
Alright, go ahead, shoot.
I'll wait.
But I agree with you. Like, sometimes not everything gets fixed in the game there, buddy. And, yeah, like, games like Pokemon, Scarlet Violet, it's definitely one of those games that they've tried fixing and it's just not working. But, aside from being bombed by gameplay or critiqued by the bad gameplay, I see that a lot of the story is definitely hyped up there, but not above like Legends Arceus was, but definitely like a good story, something that's better than Sword and Shield. And it's definitely something that they evolved from. They're trying to make things better.
Look, if it's better than Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, it's got my heart.
I like Sword and Shield. People didn't like Sword and Shield all that much. I personally liked it. I liked that it was set in Scotland. I loved all the castles and everything. I loved everything about Sword and Shield.
Scotland's such a good, like, area.
Exactly.
Like build a game in, because it's like castles, fucking, just like the
It's
atmosphere.
like a lot
of
of
it.
stuff.
I mean, the original premise of the original Pokemon games where they were just different parts and islands of Japan. And
It's
if they're
reached from Japan to Scottish to Spain.
exactly.
And
France too.
Yeah.
Hawaii was in France.
I know it's missing one. And Hawaii.
And Pokemon Black and White's supposed to be set like the American New York City, Manhattan kind of deal.
Dude, yes.
And those are all games done properly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, that was Roman. He'll be back.
I don't like watermelon.
But what was your question, Henry?
Hello.
Hello.
Back, Roman.
Dude, I better be able to fucking join back or I will literally murder someone.
In-game.
Invite me, Henry, please.
1 second.
I love how you do that. In-game.
Well, I'm also uploading this. I'm uploading this VOD to YouTube.
No, I know. I just really good. Really good.
No, I post a lot of the podcasts I make on YouTube. But But yeah.
Oh, my question.
Yeah.
How was the reception? Hyrule.
Oh, but what's up? You cut out for me.
How was the reception for Hyrule?
Hyrule Warriors, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen a whole lot of review on it, or I just was neglected to look it up. But actually, that's a good topic
Because
to bring
it's
up.
such a massive outlier in terms of like Zelda in general.
I haven't seen any reviews of it.
Let's look at this up.
I would, but
I'm on my PC.
If you invited me, I might not have received it. Again.
So Hyrule Warriors, from what I'm seeing right now on IGN, is a 7.5 out of 10. And one thing I think about Hyrule Warriors is it was definitely good fan service. Playing as villains from other games you're gonna play, like Zant from Twilight Princess or Girahim from Skyward Sword. Being able to play as some specific villains was great. And the fact that you got to play as Ganondorf and actually be the one who wins, like, actually take the Triforce for yourself. You get to see everything from the villain side, too. It was definitely a game of its time and great fan service from Nintendo.
I'll take a try. Okay, thanks, baby.
Hyrule Warriors, I feel like, was still amazing. And Age of Calamity, when it came out, holy cow, did it bring new emphasis on the Zelda story. Because here's the thing, too. The OG Hyrule Warriors is obviously not canon. But the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is a timeline, not a reset, but a timeline split that is actually canon. Because Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity takes place before Breath of the Wild to prevent the calamity. Or you go in straight in the Breath of the Wild when Calamity struck, then straight in the Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nice change, and obviously it's one of those Nintendo things where, oh, you split the timeline again, look what you did this time. But honestly, I don't see a big issue in that. I think the most canon timeline is the hero is triumphant, is sent back to a child timeline leading up to Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess.
I'm ruining your mouth. Oh no.
And then, from what I see, though, is the Zelda timeline may be reviewed as, like, what the hell is going on here? What are you doing, Nintendo? The games itself are just are masterpieces in itself.
Like, read into it,
How many?
it makes complete
many do you
fucking sense.
My own headcanon, I put Soul Calibur 2 in during the Ocarina of Time era because...
No.
I know. But, Link
was
Pretend...
Soul Calibur 2 the only game where Link was part of it, or
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube, that was it.
that's the only fighting game?
Yeah, but that isn't Smash Bros.
I couldn't remember if it was.
Or, if you want to get real technical, Mugen. Project Mugen.
Fucking Project Mugen, bro.
Dude, Mugen is great.
Oh my god. Don't even talk. Don't, hey.
Dude, Mugen's great!
You spit on Project Mugen, I'll actually end up crying right now.
Dude, I'm not even shitting on it, dude. It's great. So basically, Project Mugen is cameos from, like, everything ever existed. Like, you know, just, obviously Street Fighter. You can play as Ryu, but you could also play as Geese Howard from King of Fighters falling from his tower, and if you hit somebody, it one-shots them. But if you miss, you die instantly. It's a funny gag game, but it's great.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the good Mugans where they have Ronald McDonald versus fucking.
Oh yeah, Ronald
Or-
McDonald.
Plus, like, just literally any character you could think of, just throw it into a fucking fighting game and call it a day.
Literally Doodle Bob. You could have games like Doodle Bob versus the mascot for Wendy's.
It is.
Is that? Are you guys? It just sounds like you're talking about Project.
Yeah. There's different projects from
That is
Mugen.
literally- Yeah.
That's if it's the same game, I only know it as Project M.
Oh no, Project M for Smash is a completely different thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Project M is like.
Project Mugen is
Mugen is like. Mugen's based on Street Fighter and King of Fighter. It's
Yeah.
the same premise, but it's based on those kind of games. So.
Okay.
And it's more funny because you get like all those ridiculous animations, plus all like the super combos and shit from Street Fighter. So
Yeah.
like Ronald McDonald, they had like this really fucking. It wasn't even like a move. Essentially, he just like clapped you, and it like it's just a big fucking blue light that just explodes you, and that's the entire combo. It comes out to like 20. It's so fucking good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mugen is good.
Trying to think of another game I got a fuckload of bad press.
I ran over my foot with the cart.
I would talk about Starfield, but I haven't played Starfield.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have a whole lot with Starfield to really say anything.
I'm surprised Roman hasn't brought up Lies of P.
For real, I feel that.
People, I mean,
I think I pulled
the
my
biggest
too.
the biggest beef I could give with Lies
should've
of
got
P
the
is
card
just
out.
people are
Yeah.
constantly criticizing
time
it
as you.
because it's one of those quote unquote off-brand
I asked
Souls
Carolyn, she
games,
said I should know
and
tomorrow.
it isn't made by From Software.
I asked
so
Carolyn
people
what
just
you're
kinda
facing. She said
lose
she'll
their
know
crap
tomorrow.
because of that. And I mean, the truth is that the game is
How can
an
this part?
amazing game by itself. And while it has tons of influences from the Soul series, I mean, games are like that. They have influences. The truth is, though, if you can make a game that's that good out of influences that can literally stand on its own, that's insane to me. Because like a lot of Souls games are just played because they're just that. They're Souls-like, rather, I should say. And that game is a game that if you're not a Souls series fan, you can play. And I mean, it's hard, but I mean, it's unique in its lore and richness in
It's
itself.
7:46.
It's
You want me to
good.
pull my
Another game that I want to bring up in topic about that, like Lies of P not being directly made by FromSoft, Mortal Shell. Mortal Shell was made by Cold Symmetry,
Ooh, Mortal Shell, yeah, that's a good.
and it's supposed to be a Souls. It's obviously supposed to be very Souls-like you were saying. And I feel like games that try to be Souls-like, that do it in the right way, like Lies of P, and in my opinion, Mortal Shell as well, I feel like they don't get enough credit for trying to... I want to say copying is bad, but to emulate the Soulsborne difficulty. And I feel like games like that are just underlooked and are just poorly defined by people who critic it because it's not FromSoft making it.
I mean, Lords of the Fallen is a good example.
Exactly, Lords of the Fallen. That was a great game.
Yeah, you're right.
Got really shit on because it was clunkier than Dark Souls. Sure.
But you
it
can't
still
argue...
was like pretty good
Exactly.
as like a Souls-like game. It was far from bad.
And in my eyes, no single one game can be super atrociously bad unless you experienced it yourself, then to agree with said accusations about a game.
Grow up. I hate
I can. I know I have a bad game I can think of. I gotta think of it in a minute.
I mean, look at like I want to talk about.
I have a bad game.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about like a broken game. Like I mean, look at Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I know it's a masterpiece, timeless game, and it's a broken fucking game. But did that stop people from reviewing it to be bad? No, people review that thing with praise, and it's not a bad game by any means. It's a game that's.
I'm not even talking about broken games.
I'm
I'm
not-
talking about games that are just bad to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
Like-
like a bad premise, a bad everything. Like Mario is missing. Literally, that's not the pick I was gonna do, but it's one of the fucking worst games I've played. I don't care what anyone says. That game is
The
so-
CDI Zelda games.
No, Mario is missing is much worse. At least the CDI Zelda games tried to be this shit was like a really bad education game that didn't even have the proper education question. Bro, why the fuck is there a question about King Kong in a fucking game about history? What the fuck? Literally, they have a fucking question about King Kong. And it's like, this is a game that's supposed to teach you about, like, U.S. history, like, you know, like, oh, fucking George Washington and fucking, all, like, Ben Franklin, all this shit. No, we're gonna throw in King Kong.
That seems
Like,
so.
that shit, and plus the gameplay too, they have like these Koopas, right? That you can jump on top, but they can't kill you. The game is literally fucking pointless. You can't die. You can't like. All you can do is kill Koopas and answer questions that aren't even right. Like aren't even historically right. It's like what the fuck were they thinking?
It's-
Actually?
It's definitely no
Like-
Super Mario RPG.
No, what?
Uh-oh. Bronson is getting so worked up. His phone's breaking.
Like, oh no, oh.
Ah!
I finished my point anyways. I finished my point.
No, I completely agree. Like a game like that, like, oh, dude, it was so bad. It was so. I remember now. You brought back up some memories I tried to keep repressed.
That was my first Mario game too, believe it or not.
No
That
shot.
was my first Mario. I'm not even fucking with you.
Oh my god.
Every Mario game afterwards, I'm like, I don't fucking do this shit.
That's hilarious. Another bad, obviously reviewed game that I just mentioned was the CDI Zelda games, Wand of Gamelon and the other one.
That's such a good cut.
I mean, to be fair, those kind of deserve it because they were such bad quality.
Not only were they bad quality, they were made on a console that died at launch. The Philips CDI.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a revolutionary, not only movie player, but also some sort of game system, and it failed at that. Not to mention, it takes the premise of supposed to be like Zelda 2, a side scroller. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people who hate Zelda 2, and I'm not part of that. It's hard,
My
yeah,
house is being swarmed. Holy
but
shit.
it's.
My house is
I don't
being
think it's
swarmed.
bad. But the CDI games, it wasn't it, Chief. Definitely was not
Oh,
it.
far from it, bro. They were
Bombs?
far from
Rupees?
being it.
It's all yours as long as you have enough rubies.
Well, sorry, Link. I don't do credit. Come back when you're a little bit.
I would say it
That's a creeper!
aged.
That's a creeper! Holy shit, no!
I would say that the
Oh, you're playing
game
Minecraft?
aged poorly, but the memes aged like a fine wine.
Oh, they aged fucking amazingly.
The memes aged properly, but the game itself is just dog water diaper baby. It was an actual dumpster fire.
Oh, was it? I remember there's a section in the games where literally if you break down the restart an entire like section. Oh, it was on an AVGN video. But literally, he shows it off like you jump down this one area. It's such a bad design because they literally make it so you can't jump up far enough in this one area. So you literally have to restart your entire console, and where you start back is so fucking far. Like you might as well just literally give up playing the game. That, and then I remember, I think, wasn't the up? Was it up on the D-pad? I think was jump. And it had so
Did you want me to
like
sleep?
areas
Yes.
where you had to do like
But I'm
you had to
killing
like
zombies
press
for
up to
XP,
go into an
Henry.
area.
I don't give a fuck.
Fuck you. I can't
you're-
even sleep, Henry. Honestly.
Kill the zombies then.
I'm working on it.
Don't mind them, they're still playing Minecraft.
I'm just, saving the shot. While y'all are yelling.
I still
I'm not
can't
gonna lie, I kind of almost
sleep.
like it's fine.
There's
Instead
so
of
many
joy, I was just trying to say
zombies,
the game is badly
I'm
designed.
sorry.
Like that game is really fucking like literally you have to press up to enter this one building, and then as you're pressing up, you end up jumping. So you're just sitting there trying to jump into this fucking building. You're just like, dude, can I just go into the fucking door, please?
All right, I can sleep. There we go.
It's at that point where like it's at the point where like the gridlocking wasn't done properly and you just didn't do anything.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And at that point,
I mean,
that's a proper
you
critique.
can get through it, but it's just like you have to be so pinpoint that it
Taylor, do you
literally
think this
like
cabbage is done?
it's just so fucking irritating. So that's why that game is not good.
How am I supposed to work?
No, I don't want to break it now. Well,
You're
the
gonna
thing is,
break
in
it,
this
Breaker.
mod, they have like weird.
They got Japanese seasons in Minecraft. Wait, they got 72 seasons in Minecraft. Excuse me.
Yeah, they have
That's
more biomes and stuff.
I was actually joking, but okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, they got like cherry trees or cherry blossom trees and everything. It's cool.
I'm gonna start
that's-
my farm. I have eggs.
That's actually kind of
Start my farm.
I kind of want to get back into Minecraft. Every time I like think about it, I'm just like, fuck, I got too much shit going on. Like,
Fuck, I hate Minecraft.
Right.
Fuck, I hate Minecraft.
no, it's not even that.
Yeah, it is.
Fuck, I hate Minecraft. Fuck, I hate. The only Minecraft I want to play is the PSP version. Oh,
Only
it's
Minecraft.
not even. No, I don't know. Just every time I like play it though, I feel like I have to invest way too much time into that shit.
Well, yeah.
And it's like I already have like how much shit I got to invest in as it is right now.
But it's a good classic.
Stocks, man.
Yeah,
I don't have time for Minecraft. I'm only on the stock market.
I need to buy all the
I need more watches. I need more watches.
More
Bring up
watches.
that. Watch mine.
I don't have time for Minecraft. More watches. More watches.
I don't-
Yes.
I don't have-
Yes.
I don't have time for this. I need to save up $3,000 for Tutor Black Mate now.
Yes. This is working nice. I have a farm. Oh, that's a fucking skeleton in daylight. What the fuck?
What in the hell? I will send you to Jesus.
No. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. You'll die. Yeah, you're in sunlight now, bitch.
Don't worry, he's trying to get the skeleton's bone experience points, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
That's my dad.
He's trying to get the experience so he can trade it for a Baja Blast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now it's time to work on my farm.
Why else
Mark.
would you be getting experience?
Exactly.
I'm in a flower biome. So pretty.
I was like,
Congratulations,
wait, you're
Roman.
working
You
on
found
farm?
your house.
Wait,
I found the wood that I want
Working
to
on-
use for my house, but I haven't found
I'm clocking out.
where I want to.
The wood for my house is whatever's
Yeah, shut
common.
off everything.
Dude, aspen wood? Yes.
Welcome.
I
Be
love me
safe.
that ass wood, man.
Shut up.
I'll wait for you to be more again. I'll wait for you because you gotta close the door behind me.
Alright, so I need.
But yeah.
Can I build fence right now?
Games like Minecraft are always going to be games like timeless classics. I mean, a timeless classic. It's just there's so much with the game. It's hard to say it's anything but like fun because of all the modding community, all the things you can do. I mean, obviously, people are just like in creative. People, it's a noticing. It's a thing I notice in creative. When people play creative, they just like to destroy things. Like unlimited TNT. Let me just boom, 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 lava here and there. But like when you play survival, you feel accomplished when you get everything you want to do and build.
Oh,
The more I play this mod, though, the more I enjoy it, just because I feel like I always have something to fucking strive for. Like these fucking cabbages! Hey, Roman, you want to go bowling? No, this is my
Cabbage? No, you gotta go the after last airbender. My cabbages!
my cabbages!
Exactly!
Cabbages!
My cabbages! Dude, Avatar Last Airbender, all of its games, the anime, banger. Just banger.
The hope is that
Doesn't say fucking the live action movie.
Okay. Yeah, there's a reason why I left that out. Threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I can just throw these eggs, right, and a chicken might appear.
Throw those eggs at the Avatar The Last Airbender live action movie.
No, tomatoes.
Eggs and tomatoes. And while you're at it, put it in a dumpster fire. God, like, I won't lie. There are some very cool scenes in that movie, like the earthbending scene and the firebending scene. Like, that shit was cool. But, oh my god, did they botch a lot.
My name is
It's another can of worms. That's another can of worms for we do something like movie reviews or TV show reviews or something.
Oh, I started watching Adventure Time again.
I need to watch Edge Runners.
Yes, you fucking do.
Listen, once I get Netflix from Lumi, I'll be okay.
So, if I throw egg, chicken?
I definitely am more on the train of Cyberpunk. I definitely like Cyberpunk. I just need to get a better graphics card before my
Right?
PC
Yeah.
explodes.
Yeah, you just need a better GPU.
Like, way better.
Can I lure the chickens?
You
You
might be.
can play it at 1080. like,
Seeds.
medium
What
or high.
seeds?
Just regular ass seeds.
What seeds?
You can lure
how you
chickens
grow
by
wheat.
using, wheat
Okay, that'll
seeds.
work.
Yeah.
Where are these chickens? I know they're here.
But back on the topic of saving things, like you said earlier, Cyberpunk, Edge Runners definitely saved a game franchise that definitely got the limelight that it needed.
Like,
And
it-
Cyberpunk itself
it-
wasn't even bad.
Oh, dude. If the thing is, right? CD Projekt Red knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yes, I captured a chicken. Yes.
They
I
knew
captured one.
what they were doing. They made an excellent story. But,
Oh, yeah.
But the issue with Cyberpunk is that it's too ahead of its time.
Like, it was over ambitious, but
Yeah,
it wasn't
very
over ambitious. It was very over ambitious, but it was over ambitious in a good way and not a way that would tear it down.
Yes.
Pardon me, Trent. I'm just drinking from my 2-liter Mountain Dew.
Captured the chickens. I need
yeah.
farming 3 to mate chickens?
But yeah, I feel like Cyberpunk is definitely a game that like it had a very, very good redemption arc.
It's okay, Valor. I captured the chickens.
And
Like,
oh, go ahead.
Cyberpunk, if it didn't have a rough launch, it would have been legendary status.
Oh yeah, for sure, and I agree with that 100%.
I don't know where you stand on that, Roman, but
What?
have you not been listening to the conversation?
Dude, I'm literally farming and gaming out of my mind currently. I'm kind
Lumi
of
is back.
You're not even.
Look
You're
back
not
at
even
me.
this conversation. You're not even part of the stream.
Oh, I'm farming, man.
I was hoping never mind.
Anyways,
But
Yes,
like,
I
I definitely agree with the status that you're saying. Like, Cyberpunk would be legendary if it didn't have its rocky start.
yeah, literally.
Honestly,
Mommy.
I would say there like gaming series would be like Destiny weapons, like, you know, rare, legendary, and exotic. I feel like it misses that exotic area, but lands in like a good legendary spot. It's not an exotic take because of something being rocky, but it's legendary for what it withstood and withheld.
Yes.
Okay. I want opinion on 2 games. One that I've played, one that I've never played.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Okay.
what's your opinion on
Bioshock? Oh, great game. Wonderful.
Legendary.
Actually legendary. And I don't care what people say, Infinite's good.
Infinite is.
Fuck you haters.
Amazing. I love Infinite.
I just got really motion sickness while playing it, so.
I can do this. I'll go to the village next door and I'll cook my food.
Don't take what I said to heart about the fuck you haters. I mean, I love Infinite. Infinite was great.
Phoenix, stop in the grass! My dog's
Can I-
rolling in the grass.
I can
cook
hear
cabbage?
you.
New bitch.
Should I cook cabbage?
Rose,
Yeah?
what's your opinion on Atomic Heart?
I have not played Atomic Heart, and I don't know if I will.
I've seen the trailer. Really good, but
It's-
I've never.
I don't want to think of Atomic Heart, especially with all of it already with Nier Automata having to deal with all of that.
Oh, that's so smart. I can make
Nier Automata is already on the Android booba area. I don't think I want to think more of that.
I can make cabbage rolls. That's so smart.
Listen, we've all been on the internet long enough to see all of it.
What
For
level are you,
real.
Roman?
What? Wait, what?
And I won't
What
go into
level
premise
are you?
about that because I don't want to get 1 banned and 2 no.
I'm level 2, but I'm about to go cook at the nearest fortress.
I don't understand how you're oblivious to literally conversation happening all around you.
Can you calm down over there, Henry? I'm
We're
focusing.
playing Minecraft.
Jeez.
Boing, boing.
But this is my
I'm just
podcast.
Stating the obvious, man.
Man, I just wanna eat food.
You eat food and participate in the podcast. I'll play Minecraft. I mean, look at Henry and Lumi. They both multitask.
Bro, he
Dude,
hasn't found his house yet.
I've been doing my own thing, but I can actually keep conversation while like being busy.
Now I'm gonna do my own thing.
I met this guy at work.
Are we sleeping?
No,
If I can get back to my
now
house,
we don't
yes.
sleep when you don't want to sleep, huh?
I don't have my
Still. Me and him talked for like 10 minutes about milk.
Whatever, I gotta
So
go.
I told him I could give you the business card.
I'm gonna visit the village.
Visiting the village, the village, the village, the village.
Alright,
I think Roman died.
Roman may have died.
I will be right back.
Alrighty.
back Anubis.
Let's
Anubis.
see.
If I get one more notification that my earbud is about to die, I'm gonna scream. Oh my god.
No, I ended up having to go get food because mom made really gross.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Should I be happy that I'm not having a lot of her cooking?
No, like, it just had a lot of onions and like peppers in it, and
Were they not sautéed or?
He was trying a new recipe from like HelloFresh, and like it's not for me. So I bought me and my brother food.
That's fair. But yeah, I think this is a good spot to end off the podcast for the night, guys. I feel like we've talked about a lot and really got some points through about like games and like that being, you know, shouldn't be swayed. Your opinion should be swayed. You should do what you want to do and everything. And I feel like we hit a lot of the bomb points about what gaming should be rather than what it is now.
Honestly, thanks to this podcast, work went by a lot faster.
Now I'm home eating pizza.
Oh, I have stuffed crust pizza up here.
Lucky. They got me a small zip.
I could, if you want some with the stuffed crust pizza, you can come upstairs.
I will, after I eat this pizza.
But I'd like to thank you guys for coming out, and we are going to be rating a buddy of mine, Benny Bloom. Really good streamer. Right now he's actually playing It Takes Two. Really good streamer buddy. Plays Smash Bros. Has really good community and everything. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed tonight's podcast and all the updates that we said we're going to do. Eventually more stuff will be coming out. More merch will be coming up for sure. New overlay, eventually, new model. And then possibly, and actually no, definitely more podcasts such as this. Maybe next time we'll do movies and TV shows. But I really wanted to talk about games and everything today. And how where we all stand and why game critics and everything are just kind of stupid. But I do hope you guys have a wonderful night. You guys get some good rest and everything. Don't oversleep like I do. And go show Benny Bloom some love. Give him a follow. He's a cool guy. Great guy. Rudy, love him. Take care, everybody.